Hi, I'm back. I'm Heather Sutherland, coming at you from the Château here in France on a rainy afternoon. It's Giving Tuesday in America, and I've been happy to share with you today a few glimpses into the work we're doing here at the Château, the renovations we're in the middle of, our grand opening that's coming up here in just a couple weeks. And in this video, I wanted to tell you a little more about where we see this ministry growing in the next few years. Let me start with telling you a little of how this ministry came to be and why we feel the work we're doing here is so very important, and also why it's just the beginning. First of all, it's been on our hearts for many years to pour into missionaries who we saw working so desperately hard to minister to the lost, the lonely, the broken in places all over the world. A lot of people don't realize that missionaries do more than preach. A lot of people just think of them as preachers who are going out and telling people about their beliefs or their religion, and we've even met people who think missionaries go out and try to force people to convert, and that is not at all the experience that we've had with any missionary we've ever met. Although missionaries do hope to teach people about God, their goal is to bring hope and peace and healing to the people they minister to through Jesus Christ, because that is their belief, that Jesus is the one ultimately who brings peace in this world and who helps us to find purpose and meaning in a world that is so often full of chaos and pain. And so, yes, missionaries do hope to teach people about Jesus. It's true. And their goal is to help people find true life through Jesus Christ. However, what a lot of people don't realize is that most missionaries, especially today, but really for centuries, this has been true, they focus oftentimes on ministering to the poor, helping to find new, resourceful, creative ways to meet the physical needs of the people that they're trying to help or teach. And this can come in many different forms depending on the place that they're working. So we've seen missionaries who are fighting hunger in famine areas. We see people fighting slavery, human slavery, and rescuing people out of sexual slavery too, going down and meeting prostitutes on the streets and trying to get them help and trying to get them away from their pimps and the people that are trafficking them from other countries and then forcing them into that lifestyle. We see people doing brave, courageous, dangerous things in order to save people from desperate, dangerous situations. So missionaries do many, many, many things. Some missionaries focus on medical needs. Some missionaries focus on hunger. Nearly all, try to minister to those in poverty. Some work very often with the elderly and taking care of their needs. With orphans, we've seen incredible numbers of missionaries who focus on orphan care. And go into orphanages and try to do what the orphanages are unable to do. So there's an incredible number of ways that missionaries are working in this world, and it's diversifying as time goes on. We see mission groups now doing things like going into famine areas and teaching new agricultural skills. So the missionaries may have started out as trained Bible scholars, but they end up becoming farmers because they're trying to learn new techniques and then take them to ancient places and teach them to people so that their families can prosper and do well. And then this opens doors for people to teach about Jesus, because of course the next question when you go to help someone is, why are you helping me? Why are you here? I mean, even us here, we're asked that constantly. Why are you here? Why are you here in the middle of nowhere, France? What are you doing here? So definitely that happens when you go into a culture that's not your own, and you find the very group of people that no one else wants to help, and you minister to them. The very next thing they're going to do is ask you why. And that's an opportunity for someone to teach about Jesus, to say, I'm doing this because God loves me, to come and find me in my brokenness, and so he taught me to come and find you. And that's what we see missionaries doing. They're incredible, brave souls. But that work is hard and overwhelming and sad sometimes and discouraging sometimes. And a lot of people back home don't understand what it is you're doing or why you're doing it. And even if they all love God very, very much, they don't necessarily understand why you're doing what you're doing. And so it can be disheartening and exhausting work. And that, along with life's everyday challenges that stress us all, can put a real strain on a family and mission work. So our hope here is to provide a little relief and a whole lot of support. And we're doing it by starting with this place, the Château. The Château for Restored and Renewed Ministry is meant to be a safe haven where missionaries can come, whether they just need a break, maybe they just need some time away with their spouse, or time to just focus on their children for a few days and just play and hike and be together without all the added pressures of the important, intense work that they do on a regular basis. But it's also a place where they can come for more intense needs. If they need marriage counseling, grief counseling, crisis counseling, if they need to work through some specific situations that they found themselves in, with the guidance of experienced ministers and family counselors. And it can also be a place where advanced mission training can happen, or teaching and training in how to use counseling in your ministry, which is a constant need for people in ministry. So that is what we're doing here at the Château. That's what brings us here. This place is well suited for that work in particular. We are on the eastern side of France, so we're easily accessible to most of Europe, and also not too far out of the path for a lot who are in Africa, because it's a lot easier for them to come to us than it is for them to go home. A lot of them, missionaries, when they're traveling back to America, to see family, or if they were in real crisis and they needed help, a lot of times the only way they can get help is to go to America. Instead, it's much more affordable and easier and faster for them to come to us here in France. So we're really well suited here for that work. However, I promise to tell you some about where we're going. You've already seen some of our renovations. Those are being fully funded by the ministry team personally, and so no donations are going to that currently. And our plan is not really for the funds that are donated to the ministry to go towards the physical renovations of this house. However, the donations are allowing us to provide physical needs for the work we do here. The main expense in that right now is our new mattresses and a few portable heaters that will go in rooms until the heating system can be updated. And then also food, just really food expense for families. When a family comes to us from the mission field to stay, whether they're staying for a day or a month, their stay is entirely free. That's one of the gifts that we're offering, is that they can come whenever they need us. Our door is open. We have plenty of rooms. We have 10 working rooms right now, and we hope by next summer to have 12. So we are really grateful to have plenty of space, and we can welcome anyone at any time during the year. So we want them to be able to come and not worry about expense. Every single missionary works on a very tight budget. They have what has been given to them from the churches or their sending organization. That's it. They don't have extra income. They don't have other resources. So if they need the resources we have here, they either have to apply for it or ask for it from the people that have sent them, or go without. That's the bottom line. What we're offering here is if they can get here, then they have everything they need. All they need are the travel expenses to get to us. Once they're here, we feed them, we house them, we will take care of anything they need. Transportation issues here, anything they need here, we're going to make sure they get. And we're able to do that because of the generous donations of people like you. So we're very, very grateful for the hearts of those who've seen the work we're trying to do and have poured into this ministry. And Giving Tuesday is just one more opportunity for us to share our good work and to ask you to join us in it. So that's what those funds go to. They go to feeding and housing families in crisis. The other expense that we pay for out of donations are the expenses for counseling services. We have professional counselors, and we have a growing list of counselors who would like to be working with us. And we're really excited to see that probably in the next year, in the next few months, maybe, we're going to be able to have a solid list of counseling resources available in multiple locations, not just here at the Chateau, for families that need those services. And the counselors that worked with us here at the Chateau have a special licensure to do long distance counseling. So when they're in the States, they're Skyping with missionaries all over the world. And they're going to be able to work here legally and also with families anywhere that are in need. So that's a wonderful, wonderful resource we have. And we're also hoping to be growing in that direction, to be training counselors how to work in this field in particular. There's really not a lot of teaching in that particular area, but Alan and Sherry Pogue, who are our lead counselors, have teaching experience. They both are distinguished in their field. Alan Pogue was the head of the certification board in the state of Arkansas. He's been teaching and training and mentoring counselors for many years now, and he and his wife Sherry are both moving that direction. They're constantly exposing new counselors to this work and the techniques that they're using and the special situation, their experience in ministry before they became counselors enables them to address the very specific pressures that missionaries find themselves in often. So we are really grateful for their experience, and we look forward to them leading really a whole new wave of counselors who can be meeting these needs for missionaries across the world. So that's one area we see growing in the next year in particular. And what we hope is that this house will be just the beginning, because everyone we talk with about this agrees that this should have been done a long time ago, and there's such a great need for it that there could easily be homes all over the world doing the same work. So we're looking at many different alternatives to make that happen. Right now, it's easy to get consumed with the work we're doing here in this house, but we can't get too wrapped up on that, because there is a greater need for this ministry than this house can meet. This one tiny little house in one little place is just not always going to be in the right place at the right time. So we're looking at creative solutions for that. So you can be praying for us and praying with us about that topic, that God will open doors to provide what is needed around the world for his people. But we do see this being just the beginning as far as a safe refuge for missionaries. And I hope that what we'll see is a growth in the staff that we have here. Right now, my husband and I live here full time, and our children, they're in school here, and we are basically caretakers. And if I had to put one label on myself, I would say hostess. We're the host and hostess here at the Château. However, my parents, Alan and Sherry Pogue, will be here hopefully in the next year full time, as they work towards being fully dedicated here. Right now they have a thriving family practice, family counseling practice in Arkansas, and so hopefully in the near future they will be here full time and able to lead a team of counselors to do the work that we're doing here for that. And then also we have talked about taking on an intern or two to join us in our work, because quite frankly a 12-bedroom house is a lot of work. And also that other element that I was talking about, wanting to train up others who are interested in this kind of work, because if we're going to grow outward, then it will take more people. It will take people joining us in our work and in our mission here. And so we hope we hope that we'll see more people joining us physically in that, and working to find creative new ways to meet the needs of missionaries through this kind of work. However, I'm saying the word work over and over. I'm sorry. I need to come up with more creative words. I'm thinking on the fly. The thing is that there's a lot of possibilities. And so what we're looking for in the next year very intently is to hear from the families that come to see us, and the ones that we work with long distance, and the ones that write to us. What is it that you need that you couldn't find? What are the resources you really needed for you, for your family, for your work, that you were not able to access? What is it that's missing in mission care? These are the things that we're looking for in the next year, so that we can develop strategic ways to meet those needs, and to create resources that are long-term and ongoing, and to develop a real solid framework that continues this work long after we're all gone. So whether we remain here or are able to start other homes around the world, this strategic planning will allow us to expand our network of resources for missionaries, so that it becomes easier and easier and easier for them to get exactly what they need when they need it. And we carry the burden of getting it to them, instead of them having to find ways to access those resources. So that's what we're working towards. And if that made no sense to you, then that just means that you're outside of that network. But that's okay, because you can join us in praying about that, about where we're going, the direction we're going, that God will reveal to us what needs to be done next, and that He will introduce us to the people that need the things that we have now, and who can express to us clearly the things that they need that no one has been offering. Because our ultimate goal is this: to provide missionaries with the tools and resources they need, so that they can remain in the work that calls to them, so they don't have to give up and go home. They don't have to fall apart. They don't have to carry the guilt and the fear and the disappointment that sometimes comes when life gets too heavy and too hard and you can't continue on. We want to empower them to do the work they intended to do from the beginning as long as they possibly can, or as long as they want to. And then if they decide to go back home to America, it's their choice, made in their time, and not something that they were forced into because life became too difficult to carry on their own. We intend to be those hands holding them up and pointing them to God for healing and giving them a safe place to rest and be renewed until they can be returned to the work that they intend to do. So that's our goal here, and it's our every effort to give them a happy, safe place where they feel loved and cherished and can find true rest. And we're grateful for all of you for partnering with us in that. And I really am eager to see what happens next and where we go from here. I just cannot even imagine the wonderful things I'll be telling you about next year at this time, because we've done so much already in our first year, and we haven't even officially started. Our official open house is next weekend. So just imagine what I'll be able to tell you about next year at this time. And it'll all be because of wonderful people like you who are joining us in this, who see the bigger picture, who maybe see specific faces of people you love that are in the mission field, and like me, you wish you could do more for them, and you wish there was some way that you could help make their job a little easier, their family a little happier this Christmas, and contribute to the work that they're doing in the name of Jesus. And so this work really is an opportunity for us to serve those who've been serving so hard. So if you are like me and you just wish you could do more for a missionary family, then please consider donating to our Giving Tuesday campaign that we're doing today. You can donate at tinyurl.com/RR Ministry, and that'll take you directly to our donation page. And you can find out a lot more about the work we're doing and the chateau and the services we offer and who we are at our website, which is restoredandrenewedministry.com. And if you have a family that you would like to send to us, or maybe you'd like to recommend that they look into what we're doing because you think maybe they need a break, then please share our website with them. There are reservation forms right there on the website that they can fill out, and we'd be happy to have them here at the Château. Thank you for joining us today on Giving Tuesday. Thank you for your prayers and your support and your donations and every possible way that you cheer us on and encourage us. Join us on our Facebook page and stay tuned for what God is doing here at the Château. That's our Château view today. See you soon, friends. Bye.